2.
Thanks for coming today. I printed off a copy of our agenda if you would like it. I also see that Carrie has it up on the smartboard as well.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, we'll start by reviewing our norms, which are everyone has a voice and is actively participating throughout the meeting. No complaining without a solution. Come to our meetings prepared, and we will start and end our meetings on time.
All right, thanks, Barb. Let's review our roles so we know what everyone's in charge of today. Barb, you're the facilitator today. Carrie, you're our tech person. Julie, you will be the communicator. I will be the timekeeper. Ashley, you are the recorder. And Susie, you are the clarifier.
Okay, to start off with, let's take a look at the promise standard that we said we would focus on today. It's RI 3.2, determine the main idea of a text, recount the key details, and explain how they support the main idea. It has DOK 1, 2, and 3.
That's right. It's coming up very quickly in Unit 3.
I remember that being kind of a difficult strategy last year.
That is a challenging standard. Let's look at the CFA we used last year to see if we want to make any adjustments to it.
The students are asked to respond in different ways. You look at the first part, they have to select the main idea from multiple choice options. The second part, they have to generate their own understanding of the main idea after reading a short passage.
I remember from last year that sometimes it was harder for them to select from the multiple choice options than it was for them to generate their own main idea.
I do remember that.
So do we want to make changes on the CFA or just leave it as it is?
Well, it doesn't sound like anyone has any suggestions for changes, so we must believe that this is a valid assessment for us. So our next step will be to determine what we think will be proficient on this assessment. Let's talk about what that proficiency will look like at each level.
I'll make a table here in our Google Docs so we can remember what it looks like at the end of our assessment.
It's a good idea. Thanks, Carrie.
Should we break it up into 4 bands, similar to the way we do in the parent report?
I think that's a great idea.
So, below proficiency.
Yep. And then approaching proficiency.
Proficient?
And above proficient.
It makes sense to me that we should start with proficient.
Yeah, that makes it, I think
Yes.
that's easiest.
So our CFA has 5 questions each, so 10 altogether. I'm feeling like if they can answer 8 or 9 correctly, then they've done some correct in each section. Most of them correct in each section.
And
That would be
yeah.
proficient.
That would show that they can select and write the main idea both. So
Yes,
I agree with that.
Right. Okay, so does everybody agree with 8 out of 9?
Yep, that sounds good.
Yeah,
Okay.
80% or 90%.
Got it. I'll put it both ways.
Perfect.
8 or 9 out of 10. So 80 to 90% on the common formative assessment will be proficient.
And so do we want to just write a little something that means they can select and write?
Okay. Select and write.
The main idea of the text for most questions.
Sounds good.
Okay. Where do you want to go from here?
Well, let's take care of the easy one.
Okay. Approaching or go above?
Let's go above.
Okay.
I would say that would be 100%.
Yeah,
That
all of them right.
mastered all the questions.
we have to put a blurb for this one?
Yeah,
Sure.
how about like students can select and write the main idea of a text without error?
Good. Sounds good.
Okay.
Should we go to approaching proficiency next?
Yeah, just one step down.
Would that be 60 to 70%?
I think that sounds good.
Okay,
So how could we describe that? So if we said for most questions on this one, should we say some, like they're developing some understanding?
okay, so
Yeah.
we're developing some understanding on selecting and writing.
Yeah. And maybe they'll require some additional support.
And what'd you say? They will
They'll
let?
require additional support.
Okay. Okay.
Well, below 60%.
Yeah, below proficiency. Okay. And what will we use to as a descriptor?
Should we say that students have minimal understanding?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay, so like first, as far as before we put required additional support. what would-
They're gonna need substantial support.
Okay. So we have for below proficiency, below 60% on the common formative assessment, students have minimal understanding on selecting or writing the main idea of a text. They will require substantial support. Approaching proficiency is 60 to 70% on the CFA. Students are developing some understanding on selecting and writing the main idea. They will require additional support. Proficiency would be 80 to 90% on the CFA. Students can select for most questions. And then above proficient would be 100% they can select without error and write without error. Does that sound good to everybody?
That sounds good.
sounds
Now, are we in agreement that we're going to come with our class already sorted into these different categories
Yes.
after we get done?
Yes.
Okay.
That's always
Units.
worked best for us in the past. It's just
Okay.
a time saver.
Yes, absolutely. So should we start talking about strategies that we use?
Yeah, so as our recorder, would you like me to put some ideas on the board, some ways that we've taught this in the past?
Yeah, sounds good. Thank you, everybody.
Okay, who's got some ideas?
You know, in the past, I have used main idea bags for the kids. And basically, what I put in the main idea bags are groups of objects or pictures of things that are related. They have a relationship, and the students have to figure out what that relationship is. And then the relationship basically is the main idea.
Yeah, I found that to be effective before as well.
I still really like the tried and true comparison of the orange and the apple, but using the orange for this and that graphic organizer.
Just call it the orange graphic organizer?
Yeah. I
Okay.
think we all know what that is. Just having the students understand that each section of the nonfiction book can have a main idea and tying it back to the author's purpose for that.
Another one would be distinguishing main ideas and details. I know we all have a focus lesson for that, and to spend several days modeling that, just so they see that and get that scaffolded learning.
One thing I always like to focus on with my kids is that the titles and the headings can help you determine the main idea. So one thing I've done is given them a short passage, and then they have to come up with a title for that passage.
Okay.
I usually call it thinking about titles.
I think I might try that this year. I like that.
Another thing I've done is kind of along with that, you give them a short passage on a piece of paper, and then they use highlighters to highlight what they think the main idea are, and the main idea in one color, and then use a different color for details that would support that main idea.
So like they're color coding the paragraph?
Yes, color coding it, yep.
Nice.
They love to use highlighters.
Yes,
And I think
they
it
do.
really makes it solid in their learning too.
Yes.
So.
Even breaking it down into grouping words, so they're grouping words with like meaning together. Some kids need to go back even that far.
Yeah, I sure do.
You know, and when you do really start working on those longer passages, I like to scaffold the kids. We decide what's the topic, then what's the main idea, then what are the details.
Yeah.
Take it one piece at a time.
I also have that, the little white box with main idea task cards. It's just a short paragraph on the front, and then there's some multiple choice questions on the back. Those are good independent practice for the kids after you've scaffolded down.
You know, in the past, and I haven't used it recently, but I think I've heard some other teachers have been using it. Starmatica has some main idea activities.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
We've got a pretty good list.
Mhm.
That gives us a start at least.
So it's nice to have some different ideas to try that I know you guys have found effective in the
Is
past.
there anything else you guys want me to add, or you think we're good?
I think that's quite a list
Yeah.
for us to
I
get
think
started
that's
with
good.
on this unit.
Okay.
Thanks. Oh, our time working on the standard is up. Let's move on to the nuts and bolts portion of our meeting.
Okay, from our agenda, the only housekeeping item we have is our costume party for Valentine's Day. Can we share out so we are familiar with when everyone's party is taking place?
You know, I had a parent contact me about our Valentine party, and they wanted to try something new this year. They are interested in having a breakfast for the party. Kind of liked that idea, then we can do it right away, get it done, carry on with the rest of the day. So ours will be first thing.
We're doing a breakfast as
And
well.
I think my room mom must talk to your room mom because we're also in the morning.
Good, so sounds good.
We were planning on the end of the day, but I love that idea. I think I might talk to my room parents and see if we can switch to that. That'd be awesome. So, can we move on to our agenda for next week then?
Yep.
Will everybody be ready to share the data for the multiplication assessment for our next?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, just to clarify, we did pick a target date for analyzing our CFA data from the main idea. 3 weeks from today, correct?
Yes.
Yep, and that would be the third Wednesday in February.
I think I'll be ready by then.
Celebrations. Does anyone have any celebrations?
Well, we've started the press interventions, the whole class fluency intervention in a third grade classroom in my building. It's been going really well. The classroom teacher has enjoyed it, and we're seeing some good data results.
I've tried it with some of my third grade too. It's going well.
I also have a celebration. As a team, we've been notified that the students that we have in Read Naturally, those students we've been having waiting to go in, our list has been used up, so we need to be looking for new students, and I think celebrate those students who have successfully moved through the program.
That's great progress.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Nice.
Oh, our time is coming to an end. Should we review our norms and see how we did today?
Well, let's take a look. How do you think we did? I thought everyone had a voice. We all participated. I really, really like the list of things we came up with, and I think it was good that everyone shared something so that if we need to know more about that, we can connect up with that person. No complaining. We were here and prepared with the things that we needed, and I believe we'll be able to end our meeting on time today.